Hello, good morning, hello, good afternoon, or hello, good evening. Welcome wherever you are watching from within the world. Welcome back to the channel. This is Houseborn's World. And yes, Assetto Corsa Evo arrived late end of last week. And over this weekend, I have been messing and fettling and testing and trying different cars and track combos. Now, I don't like playing on flat screens because I've used VR. Once you use VR, you don't want to go back to a flat screen because of the perception of speed, of depth, of many things. It's, don't get me wrong, if you've got triple screens or a nice rig setup and you're used to it, it's good for sim racing. But if you're just playing VR, you don't want to use flat screens. But anyway, this is my attempt of trying to show you AC Evo in VR. And no, I'm not frozen in time. This is on its lowest or medium settings, just with pure VR rasterization, no upscaling. And when I'm not trying to record a video, this actually works quite well. I've actually found this setting to work for me, but as you can see, trying to record this video in VR, it's not happening. It's just not optimized. So let's scratch that. Oh, actually, before we do scratch that, Kunos, if you're watching, or anybody else who uses VR, can we please get Kunos to get rid of this stupid split screen view? It's basically showing the left and right eye of VR. I hate it when developers put this view up. A VR mirror should be what you see in the VR headset, one screen, not two. Nobody in their right mind wanting to watch VR content wants to see a left and a right eye. Microsoft Flight Simulator done it, others have done it. Now if using a headset uses Steam VR or an Oculus or perhaps Pimax, you can get over this, but because this is using OpenXR, that's the stupid bloody screen I'm stuck with. It's pointless, absolutely rubbish, don't want to use it. Please Kunos, give us just one view. Right, with that rant over, we've jumped onto the flat screens. It's the only way I can record Assetto Corsa Evo currently. Now, I want to talk about physics, because physics is what gets me excited about racing simulators, because to me, the idea of a racing simulator is that it is as close or as realistic to real life as possible. And Assetto Corsa Evo, not just because it's the newest simulator, has absolutely raised the bar. Driving these cars in VR just feels so intuitive to real life. It's got a lot of grip. You're not spinning off at the very first corner, and you can really load the tyres up, and you can feel it. You can feel suspension things. You can feel so much more in Assetto Corsa Evo than I've experienced in other simulators. And I have looked around online for other people's opinions to see if my thoughts align with others. And a lot of real racing car drivers have said that, you know, the GT car that's in the game, or the racing cars are in the game, feels slightly numb, but that's true to real life with the power steering. That's how they feel, and people are really happy with the road tyres and then the slicks and the different settings, and I'm absolutely blown away. If this is, you know, in early access, the finished final product should be something to really take us forward. But unfortunately, I'm going to point out a few cars that, in my opinion, don't seem right to me. Now, I'm going to give you an example. The Toyota GT86 is a fussy little bugger, and I want to show you in a minute that I'm braking in a straight line, turning into getting on the curb. I've unsettled the car. It gets on the edge, and it's a low speed spin. Now, look at the tyres. Both of the outer wall of the tyres are red, and it's like I completely overrode the tyres. Now, this behaviour's odd simply because in the S2000 I can really lean on the tyre, load it up, and I can control it on the throttle. Taking that same corner in the S2000, I can get it over the line, I can go even onto the curbing, even touch a bit of the gravel, and I don't go off. With the GT86, it doesn't seem comfortable. It doesn't seem to want to have sharp angles turned in, and if you get it slightly offline, the tyre loads up, it goes red, and then it wants to spin off. The GT86 out of two, I'm hardly pushing it there, and it's weird behaviour to me. GT86, I've never ever driven one in real life, but I've been out in one, and it's got more grip than this. Watch this. Gone. Round it goes. It doesn't seem right to me. But the replay would actually suggest a different story. And if we watch here, as we come over the start finish, we're going full attack. I'm going to brake in a straight line. I'm going to clip the curb. That does unsettle the car. It goes over. And then we have that low speed spin. But the angle of the car was wide. But I think if that had been the S2000, that would not have happened. It's like that whenever that gets out of shape, whenever it rolls on the edge of its tyres, that's it, it's gone. It's red, it's hit ice, it's gone off the road. And the behaviour actually follows through to other vehicles in the game. So we've gone off track there. Something I'm going to raise, because something I haven't mentioned, I'm just jumping wildly from one car to another. Assetto Corsa Evo, the physics, I love the grass physics. If you go off on the grass and you're high speed, your car's not stopping. It's on a pretty wild run for the barrier. If you hit the gravel, it does what gravel does. It really slows the car down. The off-road physics in this, although we're not showing, deep tracks in the gravel or anything, or smoke or debris at the moment, is definitely better than Assetto Corsa. But something's definitely off with the GT86. Again, watch this, and off it goes. Now, I referenced the S2000 earlier, and to be honest, perhaps I should have showed you this first. Look at the difference here. Leaning on it, it's going off, and it gets in the gravel, it grips, and it goes. It doesn't have that slow speed spin. And I honestly think there's something up with the tyres on some of the cars. Definitely, there's a difference. The S2000, I can lean on it, I can actually feel what the rear's doing, and it allows me to modulate the throttle to work it through the corners. Even there, touching on the curb, it's quite happy, comes off. And if you do go over the grip level, you can spin. It's not infallible. S2000 was known as a widowmaker, and if there's any car that's going to spin or lose control, it should be that and not the GT86. So moving on to the ZL1. This is an absolute track weapon, and straight away, fundamentally, something's wrong with this as well. The tyres are not right. I mean, we are talking absolute sheer performance. Yeah, this thing's heavy, but the tyres the width of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got a lot of power, it's rear drive, but this thing can bloody shift, it can get round and pull lap times that you wouldn't believe. The grip level on this car should be very, very high, but the minute you turn it into a corner, it's fighting itself. It doesn't want to go round a corner. You go near the brakes, it's almost like the chassis is too heavy for the car. I mean, again, another low speed spin. That should not be happening. Like the S2000, I should absolutely be able to lean on this. This would basically have very sticky track tyres. I mean, it might have Pilot Sport 4S, 5S. It might even have Cup 2 tyres. To get this thing out of shape, you've got to be pushing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's heavy. It's gravity. He's fighting this car, but immediately you can't drive it. You can't even push this towards its limit, and it's fighting itself for traction. You go around a corner, immediately tyres are fighting, screaming, and if you carry any speed into any corner, one, it can't stop itself very well, and two, it just doesn't carry the speed in, and you end up with spins like that. Something is really off. Now, I've just cut to the replay on this just to show you, but if you look at the tyres on this car, instantly you start going into a corner and it's leaning or drifting, they go red and the thing just wants to rotate. It's not how it would be in real life. In real life, this would destroy a lot of cars. It is an absolutely track-focused weapon. Yes, it's got weight. You've got to carry that weight. But it's just, you can't drive it anywhere near its limit without it just being cumbersome, just losing traction, and just basically not wanting. The brakes on this thing are phenomenal. It's something again is off. Now, I know I'm moaning about certain cars. This is early access, but the reason I'm bringing this up, I've heard so many people say the road cars have got too much grip. Well, try this ZL1, because about too much grip, it's got not enough grip. It doesn't drive how the real car would. The thickness and grip of those tyres, you really got to be giving it too much throttle. You got to be carrying far too much speed, and that you can't do it. You drive out the pits, and the first corner you're going into, you're going to have an off, because something is not right. And it's really reminiscent of Project Cars 2. Some of the cars were absolutely on the money, dialed in, really felt like their original counterpart, and others were just like a complete near, not near miss, a complete bloody wide miss. It just didn't. It was so chalk and cheese, and in this early access build, I can see it already. So although I'm absolutely wowed by the physics, there is a lot that needs sorting out. So we're coming up to the 15-minute mark, and I've got a couple more things just to say before we just finish this video. If you've got a set of cans on, the sound is superb. I've noticed though, say my VR headset, which has got very, very good audio, when you've got a lot of cars going on, racing together, say they're the same make, it can sound a bit drony, a bit. You don't hear the individual cars, and it just sounds a bit droned, monotone. But with the cans on and a single car, sound is superb. Not all cars, again, are equal in the sound department. Some sound spot on, others, yeah, I think it needs a bit of work. Something else I wanted to mention Again, VR mirror. Can we just have a normal mirror instead of the stupid things? And as just happened there, did you see that massive pause? Now, when I'm raced in VR, every now and again, you get a big pause. I know other people have mentioned it. There is stutters. Well, it's not really a stutter for me. It's a momentary pause, but while recording, seems to be a bit longer. Yeah, I mean, it's just evidence there. I'm not really even hammering this, and I'm getting it into a corner, and it doesn't want to rotate in, and then it just wants to. Yeah, physics are very, very good, but I don't care if it's baked or however they do it. Some of the cars, it's not working. Anyway, I sound like I'm moaning. I do understand this is early access, but if it's like this now, when we get the finished product, it should be an absolute gem. This is the simulator going forward. I mean, don't forget Straight 4, it's still called Straight 4, and their new offering, but that's been quietly on the radar for a bit, but I'll be interested to see what their new offering comes out to be, but I'm chuffed at the minute. Alright, if you got this far in the video, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Please do consider giving the video a like. Please, if you would like to, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's going to help me to produce more videos. And don't forget, give me a comment down below. Do you agree that some of the physics in some of the cars is definitely off? And talk about being off, I'm off now because I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching, and as ever, peace out.